Nigerians, you are welcome to another edition of Ogun Mantra on NSTV. Ogun Mantra is where we project, promote the activities of Ogun State government week in, week out. My name is Idris Odenide, and I have with me Dele Ayudu in the studio. Today we will be talking about the effort of Ogun State governor and the government to mitigate the economic hardship going on in the country, the one we are doing in Ogun State, especially. Dele Ayudu, how do you see the effort of the governor?
Well, it's a necessity as it is, because the fact, the truth, and my position is that things are hard. People are complaining. What the government did was to call stakeholders, traditional rulers, civil society organizations, religious leaders, and so many other people together to let them know that government is not unaware of events in the society, and then to let the people know what government is doing. Of course, in public relations and crisis management, that is very key, that is necessary. That will give people hope that at least we are not being left alone. So I think that's what the government did. They came out with different packages, and I'm sure you have the details of those packages.
Exactly. Let me come up
as
with the
released by the Chief Press Secretary
to the
governor.
Yeah. Ogun State launches initiative to sell 100 trucks of rice at affordable prices. The poor, elderly, and the vulnerable to get free allocation. Ogun State has purchased 100 truckload of rice to be sold at cheaper rates to residents of the state to cushion the effect of the rise in the prices of goods in the country. The state governor, Prince Abiodun, stated this on Wednesday while speaking at a stakeholders meeting in Abeokuta, the state capital. Prince Abiodun disclosed that the rice will be subsidized and made available at the rate it was before the recent astronomical rise in the prices of the commodities. He, however, said the poor, the elderly, and the vulnerable would enjoy free allocation.
I think that is good. The
free allocation to the elderly,
attempt,
to
the
poor,
effort, the effort
and the vulnerable.
Yes, the effort is good. But however, from where we are, we need to also tell government. We need further explanation on this. Yeah. One, government needs to say to the people, in this situation, there should be no ambiguity of any time. Opportunities like these should be grabbed by government. What I mean is that there's a huge gap, trust gap, deficit between the government and the government. And situation like this is what the government needs to bridge that trust, to let the people know that we don't just say
we are there for you.
We are there for you, we care for you, we meant all we said. For instance, when government says the price will come down to what it was
before the rise in dollar.
Excuse me, please. Before the because in under a month, the prices of rice rose for close to about 10 times. Yeah. So which of those prices are we
they going back
holding on to? You understand? It started from 35,000, 36, 37, 38 before it gets to the current level of about 71 and 67.
Almost 77 somewhere.
So in
I even had somewhere 100,000, depending on the distance.
So that's another thing. So what exactly? So that people won't bad people won't exploit this gap. That is very key. One government also says the elderly, the vulnerable. You understand? That's also needs some explanation. What category, at what level do you be or will you be categorized as elderly? United Nations standard, once you are 60, you are a senior citizen.
the nation.
Vulnerable, what does it mean?
And the poor.
Octogenarian, natural, even if he's still healthy, very healthy, is vulnerable. We understand that there are some obvious group of people that can be said vulnerable. All these needs need to be cleared before government begins this at all. I'm saying, you understand, I'm saying this to government because of the trust gap. Already, some people are already saying it, it's only going to be for them. They will only announce it, we will not see it. They are going to give it to themselves. You understand? So government should seize occasion and event like this to close those gaps, enhance and end the trust.
It's like rebuilding the trust that the people have
They
put
need
in
to
the government.
They really need to rebuild, to build it.
Yeah. Now, I continue with the story. I'm quoting the state governor now. We have decided to give out people foodstuffs like rice, gari, beans. I have obtained almost 100 trailers of rice. They will start offloading them tomorrow. By virtue of this story, it means today.
That happened yesterday.
Yeah,
so
today's Thursday, the
yeah.
offloading will start. We have decided that the poor, the elderly, and the vulnerable will be given the rice free of charge, while others will have to buy the rice at the price we formerly bought it before the dollar rose very high, so that it won't be a one-off and we can continue till the issue of the dollar is settled, the governor said. Governor Abiodun assured people of Ogun State that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is fully in charge and know what he is doing.
Of course, whether you like it or not,
Yeah?
the president remains Bola Ahmed Tinubu. There will always be opposition anywhere in the world, even in the best of democracies. Opposition will kick. So that's no big deal for somebody like me. But for the job of government, governance itself, and when we talk of democracy, which has people as the operational word, that's what concerns government, the people. Now, the governor has said the rice will be ready today. Beyond this rice distribution and other things, I also advise government that this is an opportunity for government to enhance, to keep a verified, trustworthy, sustained database of what exactly is the number of these so-called vulnerables, the poor, the elderly. These are no mean tasks. How do you identify, how do you categorize the poor? We have added another phrase to it, the poorest of the poorest. How do you even determine who is the poorest of the poorest? I think this is a good opportunity for government. Government should have keep this bag that is being offloaded, as the story says. Ensure that we also have this come along with it, so that it can be handy to be used subsequently at any time. It's a good one, but let government seize all these good things that should come along with it. Let's have that database. Let's have a statistics that is workable, that is usable, that is verifiable.
People will be willing to know the modalities and the measure government will be employing.
That's still not in the story, to do the distribution. Yeah. Is it going to be like the palliative for COVID-19? You understand? Is it like exactly? Government needs, to me, government should not be in a hurry to do this. Let government settle this. There should be no ambiguity, because government stands to also benefit seriously from this if they get this right.
According to him, the president, I'm now continuing with the story. Now, I now continue with the story. According to him, the president is on top of the situation, adding that Nigerians will soon start seeing the manifestation of the several policies put in place to curtail the rising inflation. He added that the central bank governor, Mr. Yemi Kandoso, at a meeting he had with him has assured that dollar will soon fall.
That's the prayer all of us should say amen to.
We are looking to the fall of the
very,
dollar,
very, very, very
so that
soon.
the dollar can rise
Very,
astronomically.
very soon we'll pray and say amen to that.
Yeah, I continue. Everything we are experiencing at the moment is very transient. It will soon pass away. Let me assure you, the meeting we had yesterday on Tuesday and today, Wednesday, after I left the meeting this evening, I am convinced that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is fully in charge. He knows what he is doing. With the plan that he has begun to implement, you will soon begin to see the change. We must remain very hopeful. The last meeting I had was with the CBN governor. He said I should cut him and tell you that very soon the dollar will crash.
Again, that's another critical stakeholder, the CBN and the governor. And I hope that's a promise that is not just flying out. Yeah, all of us will be happy to have that come to pass.
Yeah. Abiodun noted that his administration, in realization of the present hardship facing the country, took some steps to cushion the effects, even as he recalled that an intervention worth more than 5 billion was announced by his administration last week. Tertiary students of Ogun State origin across the country will receive 50,000 each, the governor said. The secondary and primary school category, with about 800,000 students, Prince Abiodun noted, will be done in phases, with the first phase comprising 100,000 students getting 10,000 each. Those not captioned now will get 5 exercise books while waiting for the next phase. The governor said women and the elderly will benefit from free medical care with insurance card worth 18,000 naira. Abiodun further noted that his administration will set aside about 500 million monthly to offset the payment of deductions for civil servants in the state public service.
Well, interesting, but as far as I'm concerned, what is important is government building the trust of the people.
Yeah, from the word interesting that we are talking about. Well, what is interesting about what I've just read?
No, of course, those who have their wards, children in school. For instance, let's say we have a family of 4, 4 children. We have 2 in the higher institution. That's 100,000 for that family.
Yeah.
We have another 2 in the secondary institution.
Primary. That's another 10,000.
Because exactly. So that's interesting. You see, that's why I disagree with those who always say, look, we want the road tax. Yes, all those, everything is important. But I suppose that why they do say that, again, I won't stop emphasizing that, is because they do not trust government. And there are examples to show, to quote. There are so many examples.
There is a great need to correct
build,
that mistrust.
Exactly.
To correct that mistrust.
So such opportunity should be heavily seized by the government.
Yeah. Continue with the story now. Governor Abiodun urged Nigerians, especially the youth, not to allow themselves to be used by unscrupulous elements to disrupt the peace of the country. It is now so bad that they have planned to use youths, give them money to disrupt the peace of the country.
I also disagree with the thinking of government in that regard.
Yeah.
Believe me, it is not every time that such thing happens that those involved are sponsored. Today, I'm telling governor, anybody is listening to me, that Nigerians are agitated. They are angry.
They are groaning.
They are groaning. That's a fact. They don't need to be induced to go to the street. They don't need to be paid to protest. They will be happy to do it. I know there are political opposition or opponents who will do something. The government should not always think every such action is a move of the for today's situation, I don't think people, I'm sure many people will not have to be induced to go to this. Some of us will not go for so many reasons, not because we are not angry. Not because we are not angry, we are just being cautious. So government should not always, all the time.
And for the last line of the story now, what we are going through is not what other countries around the world have not also experienced.
That's true.
But they were patriotic, calm, because they know the solution is on the way. The governor concluded. How do you see the conclusion of governor?
Yeah, the entire statement is good. But again, why it is different here, I won't stop mentioning it, is because many Nigerians, I don't want to say all Nigerians, I don't trust government on so many fronts. It's because I'm privileged. I see some of those things. But for those who are not privileged, who do not see it like I see,
they keep asking questions every now and then.
And there are evidence, like I said, there are things they point out to confirm that they cannot trust government. So that's what government should work on.
Yeah, thank you very much for being there with us. It is on this note that we are calling it a day on Ogun Mantra for today's edition. I remain your host, Idris Odanide. I give thanks to Victor Oluwapelumi for being in the studio. He's the one who is pressing it here and there for the whole world to see what we are doing. Thank you for being there with us, Daily Idol.
All right, of course, as usual, thank you very much. We just pray, I pray that government will be able to seize every good opportunity to make the best out of it. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Wọ́n gbédè o 1314 o wọ́n gbédè o global concept o abániwálé o abániralẹ̀ o abániwálẹ̀ o síbi tó dá o 1314 o global concept o wọ́n bá ní wálẹ̀ o wọ́n bá ní kanlẹ̀ o wọ́n bá ní ralẹ̀ o wọ́n bá ní talẹ̀ o 1314 o global concept o àwa nìyẹn.
1314 Global Concept. Àǹbánikọ́lé, àǹbániwálẹ̀ síbi tó dáa, àtúnbáni mójútó.
And on a final note, before we say goodbye on the timeout today, we want our guests to give Nigerian journalists, especially those one in Ogun State, how to go about their job and not to fall victim of fake news.
Well, I don't know if it's my right or position to tell them how to go about their job, because the rules are there. What I think I should just say,
reminder.
Okay, it's just for them to apply the rules.
Yeah.
The ground rules are there. We just talk about for checking your materials. Don't be in a rush to beat others to the story. For those who are not even there, don't be in a rush to share posts. Don't be in a rush. It could bring heavy issue down on you. Just follow that. We always talk about the 5 W's and H of news reporting. Apply them. Once you do this, you are staying out of trouble. Once you do this, you are enhancing your own credibility.
Exactly.
Once you do it, you are sustaining growth, development in your society. Once you do it, you are pushing our leaders to be accountable.
Thank you very much for being there with us. It is on this note that we are calling it a day on Timeout on NSTV Lagos. I remain your host, Idris Odanide. We wish you to be with us on the next edition of the program, Daily Idol. Thanks for being here.
Always my pleasure. Don't forget, we also organize a training for those who need to fact check.